Hey guys, welcome to my day in the life of a resin artist video. Today I wanted to show you guys how I prepare for a store update. So before we start off, I wanted to show you guys all of the boxes of beads, charms, and embellishments that I'll be adding onto my resin pieces, and I know there's quite a lot. I know it looks like I have a hoarding problem and there are so many boxes of different charms and options, and honestly the collection just keeps on growing, and I mean, it's really satisfying to look at, so yeah. So now it's time to add hardware to my pieces. I have a routine when it comes to adding charms to my resin pieces. First, I like to section off my resin pieces and put the same styles in a group together. I have a preset style, so what I'll do is I'll lay them all out and then I'll add the same charms onto each and every one of them. Having a preset style is great because this way I can mindlessly just watch videos as I'm doing the same thing over and over again until all of the charms are finished. As you can see, I'm attaching a clear charm onto all of my pieces. This charm actually has the name of my store on it, and it gives it a little bit of like a seal of approval that it's from my store. So this process actually takes quite a long time, and even when I fast forward, there is a lot of content to go through. So I'm just going to skip to the more important parts. This is my favorite box of goodies. Inside it has bells of all different colors, and I attach these bells one by one onto the resin pieces. I typically like to match the bells to the resin piece itself or the foil that's embedded inside so that the whole thing could be more cohesive. This is my second favorite box of goodies. Inside there are different colorful add-ons that I like to use to complement each of the pieces itself. I would choose them either by color, by shape, or by style. I like to plan out a lot of my pieces, so I would place the beads or the little like add-ons beside the pieces itself to see if it would match, and then from there I start adding them on. Once I'm done with the piece, I like to hold it up and swing it around to see how it looks as a whole and see if it all flows together nicely. So let's skip to the next step. After I'm finished all of my hardware, it's time to take all of these charms for a photo shoot. The next part to the process is taking photos for each and every one of the charms. I like to take it under good lighting so that customers will know what they're purchasing, and if there are any imperfections on it, I would usually take multiple pictures so that way the customers will see what's wrong with them and what grading they are, because these are all handmade products. I just use my phone as my camera, and for the background I just use a white piece of cardstock paper, and that's really all you need for great pictures, especially if the lighting is on point. I like to place the charms in a specific way when I take photos because this way the customers can see everything that they're purchasing and all the little details that come with it. Taking photos takes around maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and then I double check the photos to see if I've gotten everything, and from there I upload my photos onto my computer and I start editing. I normally use Photoshop to just brighten up my photos and to add a border, sizing reference, and also a logo onto each of my images. Most importantly, when I edit photos, I don't manipulate or alternate anything in the image itself that has to do with the resin piece. I feel like it's inauthentic for a customer to receive something that is not what it looked like in the images, so I never touch any of that. After editing the photos, I like to organize all of the photos into one place, and then I'll open up my Google Sheets so that I can start naming all of the pieces. Each and every piece is unique, so whenever I name them, it's very specific depending on the piece itself and what it contains. So for most of the omomoris, I would have to name them depending on what design they are and also what blessing they have on it. On this Google Sheets page, I also like to list out all the flaws in the grading for each and every piece. That allows me to be able to upload all of my pieces onto my website easily and have all the information gathered in one place. The next step doesn't really have a specific order. It could be done before I update the Google Sheets or after, which is grading the pieces. So what I like to do is I like to gather all the images and I put it onto my iPad. I like working with my iPad because of the Apple Pen. This way I can just like directly draw onto the images and point out what are the imperfections, what grade it is, and the price, everything. And it just like makes it easier for me, and I don't always have to stare at my computer. So while I do this, I actually have the pieces in front of me so I can feel all the corners, all the doming. You can probably see in the clip that like I rub my fingers alongside the edges to make sure it's not too sharp, and if there are any imperfections, I can feel it with my hands, and then from there I will write it onto my iPad and have the correct information up for when I sell them. A lot of these steps are extra, not everyone has to do the same thing. I just like to keep my things organized, and I like to have all the information up so that when a customer does buy a piece, because they're all handmade, they know what to expect. And I also grade my pieces, and that affects the price that they are as well. If they're higher grade, then obviously they would be more expensive, whereas the lower grade, those would be less expensive. And then after I finish gathering all this information from my iPad, I'll input it back onto my Google Sheets page and have all of the information ready for the next step, which is putting them onto my website. Having a small business or a shop or even a platform where you sell things, it's pretty tedious, and not everyone really knows what goes on behind the scenes. Usually there's only one person that does everything, and I just want to say that even though it's hard at times, we love what we do and we do it for the things that we love. So in my case, I like to have everything organized and everything in place so that it'll be easier for me if anything comes up. How we present our store is kind of like how we represent ourselves, and having the store in tip-top shape is always a good impression for everyone else. So this is a quick overview of what my website looks like. I run both of my shops on Shopify, and I find it super easy to manage and to update my products. In another video, maybe I can talk more about my websites and how I've built them, or you can leave in the comments below what you guys would like to see next. In the last little bit, I'm just going to show you guys how I input my information onto Shopify and have it all prepped and ready for sale. For the last final step, I like to put a little preview of what items are going to be on the store and also update my followers on when this is going to be and what items are going to be available. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much. If you stayed for the whole video, it means so much to me. And if you guys like more of these videos, please give me a like and a comment below on what you would like to see next. Thank you. Oops, and I should have said subscribe, right? Please subscribe as well.